Hey, what's up, y'all? This your boy Shatek, the producer. We are here on Conversations on Film. Today, we got the case of the J's. You know what I'm saying?
You know it.
We got Jada G.
Hey, all my blues and bears and everybody out there. What's going on? It's your girl, Jada G.
We got Thunny, a.k.a. Well, it's Javon, a.k.a. Thunny, because y'all wouldn't understand what the J's meant if I didn't say his name.
What's happening there? Do I got to do it? Because one day he going to put it on the bottom for me.
He'll never put it on the bottom of none of us. He don't.
You know what?
Underscore.
I'm a one-man band. I just be trying to get this shit out. All right.
What's up?
So, how's everybody week going so far?
We here.
I see they Dot fuck them up. That's what they doing in the comments about you. You know, some of the things that you've been saying.
They've been on you.
Yeah.
Oh, me? Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you what they calling you?
Male chauvinist.
A male chauvinist.
Yeah, all types
You're
of
a
stuff.
fucking chauvinist.
You know what's so ill about the whole thing? It's so funny because people listen to hear what they want to hear.
Right.
Because I was saying, what if, and I was playing devil's advocate and all that. It was, you did it. You never had a mother. You never. Hey, ma. Everybody know my mama. Look.
Okay, his mama loves him.
You listen, your minister daddy used to beat your daddy as a minister out here.
Yeah.
Mama a school teacher. You never had a mother. You have mommy issues. Okay.
All right, now.
So if you want to be a part of the conversation, I would suggest you go to YouTube, but since y'all niggas do not listen, you can go on Instagram where there's 1,000 comments going a minute about these particular clips that I posted recently. So make sure you follow us on Instagram, Conversations on Film, and on YouTube.com/Conversations on Film to be a part of the conversation.
And make sure while you're there, you subscribe because we getting our numbers up.
Exactly.
Get part of the conversation.
Wow.
We're the most polarizing internet talk show on the net. And that's a Fendi fact.
Nah, I mean, Fendi fitted the act. All right, so listen, today we try not to be. It's a somber moment.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace to Sonya Massey.
Rest in power.
Is it Massey?
Massey.
On July 6, 2024, Sonya Massey, a 36-year-old black woman, called 911 to report a suspected intruder. When deputies arrived, an altercation occurred in her kitchen where she was holding a pot of hot water. Deputy Sean Grayson ordered her to put the pot down. After a tense exchange, shot Massey in the face. Massey was unarmed and had her hands in the air before getting shot. Deputy Sean Grayson has been indicted on 3 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. Prosecutors stated that his actions were not justified and that he discouraged another deputy from retrieving medical aid for Massey immediately after the shooting. With the body cam footage, the footage from the body cameras of the responding officers have been viewed by Massey's family and will be released to the public. The footage is said to support the claims that Grayson's use of deadly force was unjustified. So we just watched the footage, the murder of Miss Sonya Massey. Rest in peace to her. I hope her family finds justice and closure in this situation.
What is justice? What is that? When I'm always like, it's always like a double entendre, right? When you say, well, I hope your family finds justice. Because what is justice when you're killed by the very people you called from protection? I'm like most people. I think we ingest a lot of things on social media daily.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times for my own personal sanity and protect the peace that's in my mind, a lot of times I try not to divulge into too many things because it's just a lot to deal with and it becomes burdensome. But then there's certain things that you just can't turn away from. You can't look. And we just previewed the video several times because we, here at Conversations on Film, we're having these conversations that you're watching a clip of, right? And you're making these judgments of our co-host based on this one part. We need you to know we do our due diligence here. So we need to be able to examine everything. And just ingesting and watching this sister, her last moments, like, I don't want to be the typical women, but I don't know anyone who can look at that and not feel horror, rage, sickening, and just the overall presence of almost just unhelplessness. That's what I saw from her. I'm calling for help, and I need help from the help.
Right.
This is one of the biggest problems in America when it comes to people of color, that we continuously need policing of police. We need protection from the protection. And eerily, this is Breonna Taylor. This is Sandra Bland. This is countless other names of people of color who are gunned down brutally. Make no mistakes about this. This was a modern day lynching. The only thing that was missing.
Execution. Can we say execution?
This was a modern day.
He was executed.
No, but
she stood over.
She
her
was
and executed her,
but this was a modern day lynching. The only thing that was missing was, instead of a noose around her neck, it was a barrel of a gun, and instead of a white hood, it was a blue or green police uniform. And I'm tired of saying justice. I'm tired of saying taken to the streets, because what is being done differently? And it bothers me. It literally bothers me, because, again, and I'm going to say it until I don't have a voice, and I don't care who's offended. I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care who thinks it's propaganda. Malcolm X says it, and he meant it, and I believe it. The most disrespected and unprotected woman in America is the Black woman.
Right. So let's get into what we seen in the footage, right? It was two officers going to a house. Sorry, we had a little phone ringing going on. Two officers going.
I hope that was Jesus on the main line, because we need you to come back right
please.
now. Right now.
Send the floods.
Turn the rings off.
We two officers going to the home for a call that she actually put in herself. From the video, we seen the two cops speaking to her at her door, and it looked like it was to be over. And she was about to go back in, and the guy said something about the car. Yeah, a car in the back. And the other officer went to the back to check on the car while the other officer was speaking, which we don't have the body cam footage for that to see why he went into the house. And ultimately, he goes in, they both go in, and then, everybody's seeing what happened else on social media. Why do you think that he went into the house instead of just waiting there for?
How can you be on a show and be lost for words? I'm lost for words. Why did you go in the house? Why?
Especially,
that is the question that be. Why?
Okay.
We have generally no idea. You sent your partner to the side to go look at the car. First off, he was the main one that was ready to go. If you look at the early footage, he was already being rude, already writing this young lady off,
being
and
condescending.
Yeah,
to
being
her.
very condescending to her.
He's talking.
Once
to
he
her
sends his partner off, now he's walking in the house.
Right.
We can only guess.
Yeah, we can only speculate.
Yeah, like this is.
So, all right. So if I had to play, in this situation, I know it's crazy, but this is a talk show, so I'm playing devil's advocate, right?
You need to put the camera on you while you play devil's advocate,
right? Because they need to see
let you get some shots with devil's advocate.
In my creative brain, if this was a movie, right? And this is no offense to Sonya and her family.
Absolutely.
The cop went inside because he don't know what she could have went and got. So let me just watch her as she going inside, making sure she doesn't get a gun or anything like that, and knowing from the conversation that she might have a little mental health issue, right? From the conversation that we seen. And then while she was in the house, he was asking for the ID and everything. So he went in there for that reason, that she might could go in there and get something.
Possibly. That's speculation.
Right, speculation.
Yeah.
I think that when we look at it, there could be numerous reasons why he went into the house. Like you said, possibly he does ask her for her ID so that they can be done with it. When you watch the video, he does say that, let us just get your ID so this way we have your name, put it on the complaint, and we can be done. We see then that it then escalates because she is trying to show him some alleged paperwork. She's very adamant about that. If you look at it,
she had another police station or a deputy or somebody already on the phone,
and they tell her to hang up with him.
But did he really need the ID? Because he was ready to leave before.
I mean, because you don't know if
he was ready to go.
You don't know if this particular individual even lives here, and somebody was calling the police on her.
Correct.
So we don't know that. That's the whole reason why you have to now check the perimeter. Because one, she didn't seem. I don't want to be insensitive. Seem maybe sane
in the moment.
In the moment,
I don't see insane. However,
I didn't say insane.
No, sane. But okay. I mean, you're questioning sanity, which means that there might be a chance that she could be insane.
Okay.
One could say that maybe, and I don't want to speculate because I don't think that anything that she did. I don't think that we see her tone, it's not aggressive. We see her posture, it's not aggressive. We see her, there's nothing there that states, even if she is having a manic episode, because that's what a lot of people were insinuating on social media. Even if she is having a episode, there's nothing there that triggers or warrants the fact that we need to be on caution.
I mean, protocol and policy is the ultimate thing.
Well,
right?
we're gonna get into protocol and
But
policy because
in this particular moment, if somebody, I would hope if a cop was called to my home by my wife or anyone like that, that they will come there, not only see what's going on, but question her as well.
Absolutely.
Because what if you are just trying to play games with me and you the one robbing this house right now?
Absolutely.
You are the intruder. I need to show me identification that you live here, some type of form of ID that you live here.
And I think in that moment, the officers are not wrong. Up until that point, did I feel that the officers were kind of condescending and almost like, kind of like, all right, we did our job, we here and blah, blah, blah. Which I'm not going against any officers because at the end of the day, their bottom line is to get home safe, right? To their families. So in that manner, I think up until that point, they are both doing their job on the policy. Where we start to deviate from protocol is when he sends her into the kitchen.
Right. All right. So you're fast forwarding still.
Sorry.
Right? You're trying to get right straight to the.
Yeah, because
I know.
Let's get to the tea.
Now.
No pause.
Do anyone see anything wrong with him going in the house with her?
I don't know. I can't say wrong. No. We just don't understand the why.
All right.
Yes, we don't know the why.
So if it was protocol for him to go and search like the other guy, he went to search the back at the car and put on the lights or whatever. He went through the front. Now, if there was an intruder in your house, wouldn't you want the police to come in to make sure everything was okay?
No. She didn't say that there was. She never said there was an intruder in the house. She said I heard a noise outside.
All right, but still, there was someone called. How can we verify that you were the one that called?
What I'm saying to you, Shy, is I don't disagree with the fact of them wanting to see identification. Here's the other part. Technically, she didn't have to let them into her house at all. She had that right to deny access.
Right.
She wasn't a criminal.
Right.
She didn't have to let them in. They told her the threat was gone. She could have passed her ID throughout the door. So therefore, if she's inviting you into the home, right? She's clearly not. She's clearly not a threat to you, and she doesn't pose you as a threat. She lets you in.
Right.
So, again, up until we move into where protocol is broken, there is nothing wrong so far with the call, nor the way that the officers have handled the situation at this time.
Okay, so they get there. He's asking for her name. She doesn't her last name, and she doesn't give him her last name immediately.
Yeah.
And she had to think about it. Then that's when he requested identification from her.
Correct.
So
And then
then that would put a
speculation, red flag, right?
Right. That would put a red flag up. Like, why don't you know your last name? Let me see your ID. And instead of you trying to show me your ID, you consistently try to show me some paperwork for something else. So,
well, she looked for her and she couldn't find it. Remember, they said it's in a stack. They said maybe it's in that stack over there. Maybe it's in because she was going through her bag.
And if you look at her, she's flustered. She's
Absolutely.
clearly trying to show him something. And this is what kind of raises the question of her state of mind at this point. We don't know. And again, I don't want to speculate because the sister's not here to defend herself, nor is her mental health is on trial in any way. However, she does not seem to be at ease. She's not agitated, but she's not completely, as you said, Sha. She doesn't either. She doesn't want to give, or at this time she doesn't remember her last name. I don't know. And even then, being devil's advocate, he assures her, "You're not in trouble. I just need to know your name so we can put it on the paper."
Isn't it training for when people are a little frantic? Because I'm pretty sure it's not the first time you encounter somebody that was a little frantic while they was dealing with the law.
Absolutely.
Isn't it classes? Isn't it training on how to handle these type of situations?
So you feel like they handled this situation all wrong from the get-go?
No, I didn't say that.
I'm asking him too.
From
Because
the get-go?
from the very...
You know why? Yes.
Okay.
Because the way they were speaking to her.
Okay.
The way they were handling her. The way they were talking to her in condescending tones and everything. They were talking and engaging with her in a manner where things can go the opposite way. It's a way to approach things. It's a way to talk to people. It's a way to handle things. You know, when you bring a certain type of energy to a person, things, you leave room for things to go a whole nother direction.
Right.
When you speak in condescending tones and talk to people like you belittle them and dismissive, and the way you engage with a person decides a lot of things.
Right. So again, this is like, what if? Like the assertive tone, maybe, what is it, condescending maybe a little?
Condescending
tone that he had because maybe he did not believe her, right? And he's using his judgment on the situation to the best of his ability, right? So I'm gonna be a little nice, but I'm still gonna be a firm in
authoritative
authoritative figure. We never know cops in certain situations to be just nice. They're just more worried about what you're doing, or how does this look? How did this look? Because again, like you said, they all trying to get back home. So what if in his mind, like, all right, she seems a little out of it. Let me be more specific in things, not trying to coddle no one.
You don't have to coddle.
But it wasn't about coddle, right?
Being firm and being condescending is two different things.
And on top of that, one can also, let me also add, there's a difference between being firm, authoritative, and also being dignified. I've spoken to many police officers who first of all, most police officers, I don't care, the authority presumes them. So that goes without saying, because they literally have your life in their hands at that moment, whether you are going home, whether you are coming out this vehicle, whether you are going to your next place of business, or whether you will be arrested. They have the authority within a moment. And it's for you to figure out how you're going to get out of whatever is the outcome afterwards. But there's also a dignified manner in which you must treat the constituents that you deal with. Even when they're arresting you, ma'am. I apologize to you. I know this, but you going to jail tonight. I'm sorry. That doesn't mean that you ain't going to jail. It doesn't mean that they don't empathize, but there is still a dignity in what they're doing. There was none of that there. There was none of that. It was almost like this was a waste of our time, and now we're here. And it was almost not belittling. It was almost a little, what's the word, beyond condescending. Have you ever dealt with someone It's almost like somebody talking and they're talking about something and you like, oh, aliens. Like, that's how they were dealing with her. Oh, you heard you heard noises?
Right.
Okay. Like, so it went from, yes, they did their job, but yeah, we here and there ain't really even nothing in here. She tripping.
So in this manner, what would you think? What do you think he should have done different?
He should have never went into that house. He should have. It's so much.
At
Are you
what
talking about
point?
at this point?
No, at this point, at where we are in this story, like he
In the house, out the house?
Now he's in the house. From out the house to in the house. What should he have done different?
He should have asked her to go inside and come back with her ID. He did not need to follow her inside to get her ID. He could have asked for her identification at the door. She could have went and got it. Because here's the thing. She wasn't under arrest. They weren't there on a criminal pursuit. They were there to check the perimeter, which check they did. There was no intruder.
But who's to say she is the person that
Again,
isn't intruding?
like I said, you're asking me my opinion what
Right.
he could have done differently.
Okay.
In my opinion, he could have asked her to go retrieve her ID. If she didn't, then they could move from there. But
Is
he
that
didn't do
is that safe to send someone in when you got a call from? Because I'm trying to, like, again,
What is it safe for you to go and look on the perimeter and somebody could be there to shoot you?
for sure,
Right.
But guess what?
So when we're talking about safety, right?
Yeah, but you have a direct person. It could be somebody could jump out the bushes and shoot you, but you have a person right then and there, right there in your peripherals that you see that you sending them back in the house. You don't know what they could have get. Like, if you really sit there and think about it, he always probably felt some type of way that things could go awry, because if we know from the shooting, he's
Clearly he's on edge.
He's on edge because we don't know. I mean, because he does not know what this person is capable of.
I mean, we could, if it was a fifth, we'd all be effed
Right.
up, right?
Right.
But here we are. I don't really want to sit and continue to think about what he was thinking, what he was feeling, because if he would have went on what him and his partner previously agreed on, that the threat was gone and they were going to leave, then we wouldn't be here.
Right.
So clearly there was something more. And again, it goes back to what Javon was talking about with that authority figure, right? I'm going to make sure, when you could have the threat was over. There was no, you did your job. I got one better for you since you asking questions.
Yes.
What would have happened if he would have simply said, okay, we did our job and ma'am, we're leaving? Would we be here?
No,
Would we be talking about? Right.
We definitely wouldn't.
I'm sure as he sits in the county before they let him in the population, hopefully in a black ward, I'm sure he's wondering to himself, why didn't he leave?
Right. Why didn't he leave? But then what happens if it went the other way around?
But it didn't. We can't continue to go in the
but
merry-go-round about what could have happened.
That's what I'm saying. It's two parts to the story. It's his interpretation for why he did this bullshit, and then you got the situation we see on camera and hers.
Listen, let's cut all the bullshit. The problem is, why are black people handled different from other people?
That's right.
We can't do anything. Everything leads to murder. Everything. You can't walk to the store and get some Skittles. You can't get pulled over in your car. You can't come out of the store. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do without being murdered. Why is that? Why is everything a threat to black people? How is it that a young white male can shoot, 9 people in the church?
That's right.
9 people. How many? It was 9 people. Were they all killed? I don't want to mess up the story.
They were all
I don't
killed.
want any disrespect.
9.
9 people were shot in the church. The police got the young man out of there without killing him and took him to Burger King.
It's crazy.
They took him to Burger King. How is that possible? How is it possible? Why when we're handling people of color, the height and the risk is different when you can have a stone cold murderer? A stone cold murderer, they find a way to get that person out of there alive. And still find a way to buy him some Burger King on the way to the station.
Right.
Give him a cigarette too.
Why these circumstances go one way when it's one type of people and another way when it's a different type of people?
Right.
Why? That's the biggest problem. Also, why are we viewed as a threat?
That's you make a valid statement, but what was the neighborhood like?
We don't know.
What type of neighborhood was that?
We don't know.
Because we go by different grading systems for neighborhoods in general, right?
What was the neighborhood like in the church?
Huh?
What was the neighborhood like in the church where they got that young man out of there?
Right.
Like this is
Right.
we still playing semantics.
Right.
Still
So
playing semantics.
now we all right, let's fast forward. Now he tells her to go into the kitchen and turn off the pot. So there won't be no fire in here. Right? She goes into the kitchen, she turns off the pot. And then he said to her,
she moves it off the water.
She moves it off the water.
Not off the water.
She turns off the fire.
She took it off the stove, so it's not,
Right. She got some gloves, put them on.
Mhm.
And then she then said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
No, she didn't just say it for no reason.
I mean, but what did she say it for?
She said, "Oh, why y'all backing up? Like, what happened? Like, what's wrong?" And he was like, "You got that boiling hot water." And she was like, "What's wrong?" She was like, "Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus."
He says, huh? She
Mhm.
says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Right.
He then states, no, the fuck you won't. I'll shoot you in your fucking face right now. You better put the pot down.
Right. So we know what rebuke you in the name of Jesus is, right?
Mhm.
What if he doesn't? And he just hears rebuke you and don't understand the whole, he's not literate on Jesus talk, or maybe he's not even what is it, atheist. He may be atheist. He doesn't understand what that means. All he hear is the word the context of rebuking you, meaning like did he even hear her correctly?
He said he hears her correctly because
he asked her again.
Yes, and she repeats it, and then that's when first of all, let me tell you something. If we don't believe more than anything that a lot of the things that come against us are spiritual warfare, we just saw it on tape, because she literally agitated his demon
with the word Jesus. Crazy.
Okay, if you don't believe that we war in spirit and not in flesh, we watched it in real time because a real life demon jumped out and we saw it play out. And it's mind-blowing that even knowing that you have footage on you that is recording you via picture and audio, that you have the nerve to be able to speak to this woman in this manner. I will shoot you in your fucking face.
It was crazy.
But we're animals. But we're barbaric. But we don't know how to talk or treat one another. Let the media and the people tell it. We're ghetto. We're, we love killing one another. Let them tell it. But you asked the question too before.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that, we have to know when you say, Javon, well, why are we treated like this? Because the police were never meant to protect us.
Oh yeah, we're not even,
They were never meant to protect us. The police are literally doing what they were meant to do, which is to protect the public from Black and brown people. That's what the police started as a patty patrol in slavery. And then it crossed over to where it got funded to be a patty patrol for Jim Crow. That's where the police force becoming. That's where sheriff, to keep the good people safe from the niggers. So they don't get out of line. And the good white people can sleep at night too from, the random people who do criminal activities. But it's always been to police us. I'm just appalled that woman had to be killed and, slaughtered because of the perceived threat of the hot water.
So,
perceived
threat. So, if he did not understand what rebuking in the name of Jesus meant.
Come on now.
Okay.
Listen. You can't say come on now because common sense isn't so common in this instance.
That's a fact.
So some people don't know shit. He doesn't know what rebuke you in the name of Satan means.
Jesus.
I mean,
What's
sorry,
what you
in
were
Jesus'
saying?
name. Because we just you've seen Satan jump out and I'm reading some shit right
No
here.
demons.
Yeah.
I mean, you did.
Right. So he doesn't know what that means. All he hears is rebuke, and he probably knows the the meaning of rebuke.
But what is
A
the definition of
strong
rebuke?
expression of disapproval.
Absolutely.
Right. But I have this, it could be considered a menacing item in my hand where I can throw this on you and burn you. Right? So his mindset could be like, oh, this bitch about to throw this shit on me.
Okay. All right.
And then now he says, I wish you would, I would blah, blah, blah. Right?
Mm-hmm. And what's her reaction?
Her reaction is, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
And to cower.
Right.
To crouch.
Right.
Okay.
Why was the weapon still drawn at that point? She's kneeling down, pot up on her thing. She's saying, I'm sorry. Nothing in her hands.
Why is the weapon drawn at all?
Because you fighting fire with fire.
No,
literally.
absolutely not.
No, and their mindset is she has a weapon. This water has now become a weapon. Listen. This water has become a weapon, and he doesn't know how to take this rebuke remark. I don't know how to take that.
Where was he currently at? Where was she currently at?
She was in the kitchen.
And where was he?
He was in the living room.
So there was no threat.
Water can fly. Bullet can fly.
It was no threat.
Hold on, wait.
There was no threat.
Before you say that, listen, I am only
I know.
doing. No, I'm talking to people on the shit.
Oh no, they're gonna light you up. Put the camera on.
Yeah, no, you're getting
They
lit
don't
up.
understand anything.
Listen, I am only making this conversation a conversation. All right, and I'm only giving this angle because there's going to be people that think this way.
Absolutely, there are.
So
Yes.
I'm
right in the comments underneath. Y'all gonna say this ridiculous stuff.
Exactly. So people are going to think, he did his job, but maybe it was a little aggressive. But he did do his job.
And they're gonna say she didn't comply.
Correct.
It's gonna be a whole bunch of
maybe
ridiculous
she can
things.
use
right down here. Y'all gonna say a whole bunch of ridiculous things.
And this can be considered a threat to him by saying, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." So in that instance, if he really think about that, maybe she's going to take matters in her own hands when it comes to this. That could be his way of like, you know what? I need to protect myself now because she's saying something I don't know, or she's about to do some shit with this hot water.
I think that right there, when you keep saying that word, his mindset, what he's thinking, that is the majority of the problem with the way the police think. Their mindset versus what is protocol. Right. What is the right, appropriate actions to take in a certain situation.
Right.
And that is the main problem that we have with these police officers who get hired, who aren't able to relate to people in their situations, who don't have any compassion, who don't use empathy, and more importantly, who do not follow protocol. One, you shouldn't have sent her into the kitchen. The kitchen is a dangerous place. No officer of sound mind or body or reason is going to send a person into the kitchen at any point.
Why didn't the other officer cut the water off? He was standing over there when she was in the room about a couch.
There was no reason. But okay, let's just say the fire. Fine. The fire is turned off. Ma'am, immediately we need you to come out of the kitchen. Don't touch the pot. Turn the fire off. Step out of the kitchen. But when you don't follow protocol, it leaves the door open to things that can go wrong. And this is where we see things drastically go wrong. That's the first thing. 2, the same way that people on many other jobs, I know people who get monthly assessments or every 6 weeks or 3 months. Bus drivers get assessed for drinking, for drugs. They have to do all type of testing to make sure that they are able to maintain the job that they have. Why is it that police officers are not tested every 3 months? Because let's be very truthful. They need to.
What was his record?
They have PTSD, no doubt about it.
Right.
They are likened to people who are on a war zone 24/7, and yet their mental stability is not tested enough, because maybe if we start implementing things like that, we won't have moments that turn out tragically like this. Because I'm so tired of hearing that police officers are scared and fearful to situations that they walk into. I am in no way demeaning or being dismissive to the job that police officers do, because I know I can't and don't want to do it. So I commend those people who daily go out and put their lives on the line for the public. But in the same manner that you want to go home to your family, it is not fair that Sonya Massey is now being buried by her family because someone who doesn't understand or who prejudged her based on the color of her skin or from the background that she came from or the neighborhood that she lives in automatically determined that the person that he was dealing with was a savage or was barbaric or was going to put him in a line of harm that he did not even have to be in, and she's dead because of his mindset.
Right. So now,
horrible.
We're gonna talk about him and his record, right?
What about him?
So court records indicate Grayson was charged with 2 DUI misdemeanor offenses in Illinois County, one in 2015 and another in 2016. So back to back, right? The first incident occurred August 2015, when Grayson's vehicle was impounded after he was charged with driving under the influence. He pleaded guilty to the charge and paid more than $1,320 in fees.
So he's a drunk.
According to court records, another charge accusing him of driving under the influence with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.8% was dismissed. The following year, in July, Grayson was charged with crashing out all the time in the summer. Charged again with DUI, pleaded guilty, and paid more than $2,400 in court fees. Records show. Grayson's job application to the Auburn Police Department acknowledges he had previously been arrested and charged with DUI. A petition calling for an investigation into why Sangamon County hired Grayson was circulated at a march and barbecue in Springfield on Monday night.
As it should.
Yeah. The same way you said, how's the neighborhood and all that? How's the cop? All right, y'all want to rate neighborhoods? Let's rate these cops and their backgrounds. And oh, this is a high crime area. Like, is that cop is he going to commit a crime or he's going to handle things the right way? Yeah. We need to be double checking on the people that's supposed to be double checking on us. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
Hold on. Now that I'm reading this, like some of the transcript, which is really crazy, right? She says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." She says in response, "Huh?" The deputy says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." She repeats, "You better fucking not, I swear to God."
Mm-hmm.
So that right there negates anything that you just said about him not understanding about God, because he then literally swears to God that he will do what he did end up doing.
Correct.
I mean, white men have a habit of telling you what they're going to do and do it. Just look at your president.
But then they have different gods.
Well, well, here's one of the other things. They also have different laws because of what Javon just said, right, about checking records. There's a person that I know in our town that you know who was a police officer who was removed because there was an incident that occurred when he was a teenager that he didn't tell about, and so they removed him from the police force. But yet here it is, you have a white police officer who has 3 DUIs, the very same thing that police officers put people in jail for every day, and yet he is able to get a job. That sounds familiar.
How many different forces has he been on?
I think this is his only one.
No, it's not. No.
It's not?
It said he's had 6 different jobs within 4 years, or either 4 different jobs within 6 years.
Was this all police?
Yes. Look at it. Pull it up. But
yes, he's worked at 6 agencies in 4 years after being charged twice with DUIs.
Yeah. So what does that remind me of? I guess it kind of could compare to somebody who can run for the presidency and have 34 felonies. Sounds like about white to me. We always have known that there have been different laws for people of color and people of European descent. So period.
So I'm reading the reason why he left these particular places is because he wanted to be a full-time. These was all part-time police jobs.
Well, you see what happened when they put him on a full-time force. Didn't work out so well.
Now he's a full-time felon.
You weren't getting full-time for a reason.
Yeah, now you're a full-time felon. See you later, alligator. Maybe you could get a bunk with Derek Chauvin.
With Trey Shaw.
Yeah.
So as we see him shooting the lady.
Oh, God.
And his co-worker, what is it?
His partner.
His partner, right? I forgot the whole cop terms. His partner went to go say he wanted to go get the kit to make sure she's okay, and he tells her that there's nothing you can do. It's
no, he don't say there's nothing you can do. That's the part that I think bothers the hell out of me.
Yeah, he said.
He doesn't say that.
Yeah,
he said, dude, it's a fucking headshot.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
you can go, but you
he
don't
said,
need it.
Yeah,
He said, nah, she's done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot. Nah, she's done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot. Grayson later goes to his vehicle to get his own medical supplies. When he gets back to the house, he asks if there's anything he can do, but it's told no. All right, I'm not even going to waste my med stuff then. That was kind of crazy to say.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy. No,
Everything
that was callous.
Mm-hmm.
That was cold.
Mm-hmm.
That was a killer. You're
deemed the
looking at a
person
killer.
unworthy.
When you can kill someone like that, and this is your job, that means that you don't have a care in the world.
Right.
I mean, even when you run over a raccoon underneath your car, you're like, damn shit, ooh, I didn't mean to hit it.
Look. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you this is a human being that you killed in her house, and you don't even have an afterthought. That's a cold-blooded killer. That's a murderer.
Right.
And that's scary that these are the people who are sent to protect us.
And then there was
I'm scared.
And then there was other after the fact there was other officers outside, right? And the officers asked him, was he okay? He said, yeah, I'm good. This fucking bitch is crazy.
That was the end.
Which is crazy for him to say that she's crazy. What
And she's dead.
Yeah, like what made her crazy?
She was black,
Okay.
and that made her effing crazy.
Mhm.
And it made it effing okay for him to shoot her down. But I have a bigger problem with that too, and I believe that I'm gonna hope, because usually when something like this happens now, everybody is under fire.
Mm-hmm.
No one told him that was inappropriate.
Mm.
Now I get that there's guy talk, and police officers have their own verbiage. I'm not above us cursing and using profanity, but no one said, man, you might want to watch it. But what I will say is, when you see the aftermath and all of these police officers are standing around, there is not this sense of, well, yeah, you did your job.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, they were
almost
very
like
quiet.
it is
Like,
a
what the
very
fuck?
dark, somber silence,
Right.
because they know some shit is about to happen. He's like the only one oblivious to the fact of the trouble that is looming his way. But that's because he is entitled and privileged and thinks that he can manipulate this fact, because the next one that you see in the video, the commanding officer comes in, and he's basically spinning the narrative about her coming towards them, throwing the water. Yeah, the water, and it does not match anything that we end up
He said
seeing.
it came to our feet.
Right. He kept trying to make
that narrative.
in that narrative in those videos so he could try to some way get it off,
Even the partner has more remorse. If you hear him, he's like, shit.
Yep.
Like he understands the gravity of just what has happened. Someone is dead.
And he was not his partner was not in agreement of what's going on. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't.
Because he had to be there. Of course, you got to protect your partner.
He was
of course.
reacting, but he
just
wasn't
was like, he
but-
wasn't like, oh, she's crazy. Yeah, I seen what happened. She's fucking crazy.
No,
Like,
he doesn't. You're right.
he
Okay,
did-
all
he
right,
did not-
all right, all right.
He
But
didn't
he
egg it
could
on.
have done a job of defusing the
I
situation.
was going to ask you that.
First off,
do you
should
think
know
that the partner was complicit?
Yes, the partner was 1,000% wrong. 1,000% wrong, because you should know your partner. Is your partner a hothead? Do you know his history? Do you know what's going on? Why did you even let him take the lead? Why was he taking the lead and everything? You
Maybe
gotta.
he was the senior.
The moment he said, "You better not," she put that pot down. He could have said, "Ma'am, lay on the ground. Don't get up. Put your gun
Right,
away.
yes.
Back up more." Like, you know what I'm saying? He could have pulled out a taser, anything. He didn't try to diffuse the situation the right way either.
Because he
He
maybe-
just went with the flow.
All right, so in this particular situation, if you co-workers, you may not want to step on the toes of said co-worker.
This is life or death.
Correct. And as you
Life
see
or
the
death.
other guy, he kept looking in that other room just to make sure there's no one else
He
around.
already checked the room.
Yeah, that's
I know,
never
I'm just
enough.
saying,
Somebody
check the
he didn't
room.
go in there, he didn't move stuff. It was a bunch of garbage. Somebody could have been under the damn bed. And I'm just sitting there thinking about it from an overall perspective, and not just I understand what happened was egregious. It was horrible. But I'm also, the story, right? What the story could have been. All we know is what we seen. We don't know the other officers' take on it because we don't see him saying anything.
But that's the problem.
Exactly.
You're not saying
No, but
anything.
this might not be the place for him to say it. He got to say it in court.
This was absolutely
Somebody's
the
dead.
place. And I think that
But when do he supposed to say this?
when
Because they did not share his conversation.
He was supposed to step in when he told her, you better not. I will shoot you in your fucking face. I swear to God. That is not police protocol. That is not police lingo.
Correct.
There was no threat. There was no knife. There was no gun. There was nothing that was imminent, that was a threat, a bodily force to either of them. So that was when, as Javon stated, that was when you were supposed to come. Hey, bro.
Back up. First, let's back
get down
all the way up.
Ma'am,
Yes.
get on the floor. Bro, take a step back.
So now, in that case, right, that would be a great idea for him to do. That would be the perfect thing for him to say. But if his partner feels like he is wait, hold on. This is what I'm saying.
No.
Like you're saying no.
I'm
but
saying no because
his
you know
partner,
why?
His partner, he might don't know what. Like he's in a distance, right? She
He
said
was
what she
an
said.
arm length from his partner.
No,
He
they
heard
were
everything.
they were
They were both in the
yards
living
away.
room.
But Sha, can I
Sorry.
just stop you right there,
They
Kanye
were both
voice?
in the living
You
room.
keep saying that word feel.
Okay.
Feel. Feelings are subjective.
Correct.
I could feel right now that you're being a dick, but you might not be
Now-
because that's what you feel. We are talking about what is the training, what is the protocol. This is what is happening
So
when we
is
are
that-
deviating from feelings
Is that
over
part?
facts.
Is that part of the protocol for him to stop his partner from saying or doing what he wants to do, just to
And
do
that
that?
one,
And hold on,
I don't
and
know.
You can call him and
I don't
say
know.
you could have said to him, "Yo, don't do that. Yo, calm down, bro." He would have looked at you, and she would have splashed him with that water. Then what would have happened?
Then we would move from what happened. But in this
No,
instance,
but just think about that. You
But-
have to look at it in a broader spectrum.
I am looking at it in a broader spectrum because Sha, they were more than 700 feet away.
They wasn't 700 feet
They
away.
absolutely
No,
were.
700 is not 700.
That was a
You know,
You said
math,
700. You meant to say
math-
7
feet.
Seven.
You know math, and you know, listen.
And-
Seven.
And like,
But they
again,
were a good distance away.
but we don't know that. You know why?
Why?
Because one, we're looking at body cameras, right?
Mhm.
Body cameras and focal lengths are two different things.
That could be
Everything,
true, too. That could be
everything
true.
look bigger than or smaller than
Or
what
further,
they
yes.
appear.
or further.
Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. It
And
could
body
be.
cameras, it makes it a spread out wide, so it looks. You know how on your phone you make it wider.
Yeah.
So it might have looked wider, but they could have been very close. They could
Okay,
have been as close
but-
as I am to you guys right now, or even closer.
All right.
Because the house seemed to be.
But here's the
a small
problem.
It was a
home.
small house.
Here's the problem
Yes.
with debunking all that.
Okay.
He took steps forward.
Okay.
He took steps
But-
forward.
but he
stepped into what was supposedly a threat.
Danger.
Right.
He took steps forward. You should have took steps back. You have a gun
Okay.
with range and clear vision, and you're taller than her and looking down
All
on
right,
her.
but see-
The moment she went down and said, I'm sorry. Dude, back up.
Ma'am, get on the floor right now. Put your hands up. Get on
It
the
was
floor.
moments. It was
Okay.
moments. It was moments.
Then you have the right to use force because she doesn't comply.
Mm.
You never even gave an order. You literally opened fire.
That is true. I didn't think about
You
that.
did not give an order. There was not an order given. It wasn't an order to put down the pot. It wasn't an order to get down on the floor. It
was
wasn't
it?
an order to do any of those things.
He might have said, "Don't touch the pot." What did he say? I don't know. I
I'm gonna
can't.
find it.
No, there was
right
no
now.
Yeah, I'm
order.
just saying my
There was
mind is-
no
I'm
order.
not-
But again,
He said, "Listen, he said, drop the fucking pot."
Okay.
Both the deputies yelled, "Drop the pot."
Uh-huh.
okay.
So
She's supposed to drop the hot pot of water on herself.
But
just
she
supposed
did
to
put it
drop,
down because
she's supposed to drop and
She
splatter the
kneeled down
water
and
on
put her
herself.
hands up and said, "I'm sorry." So she did drop the pot.
She complied.
right, she dropped the pot.
Now the next order should have been step away from the stove.
Lay on the floor. Anything.
There was no order
Do
given.
not get back up. Anything.
And then you open fire. You do exactly what you tell her you're going to do. You shoot her in her. Jesus Christ.
So one thing that he did wrong was make her go in that kitchen.
Absolutely.
They could have handled that themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We was watching something on the news that they should never instruct someone to go into the kitchen. One, they can get a weapon.
Right.
We got knives, we got forks, we got hot water. We have all of this stuff that can be used as a weapon. He was definitely wrong by allowing her to go into the kitchen to turn off the stove. And he was not clear at all
On the instructions.
Instructions. So turn off the stove. Don't take the pot.
Off the burner. Just turn off the stove. That's
Right.
all you had to do. Or tell her to do.
Right.
But again, also in the CNN report, as stated before, they said he literally put himself in the line of deadly force or the harm that he's perpetrating she was trying to give.
Yeah.
And they likened it, a police expert likened it to you stepping in front of a car that's coming to you and then saying, I have to use deadly force to stop it. Why would you get in front of the moving car?
Right.
What would make you put yourself in the line of the water that you are so deadly afraid of that you feel that you had to shoot her? But then again, when we think about it, police are armed with all of these tools that deadly force is supposed to be the last resort that you use, unless it is an imminent danger.
Right.
She pulled the knife. She had some scissors. She had a gun that was by. Then we wouldn't even be having this conversation because it would be justifiable homicide, right? But in this manner, there were so many other things that could have been done from the perceived threat of the water that we don't even know was thrown or not.
Right.
You had a taser. You had a choice to give her an order. You had a choice. There were so many things that could have been done on both of the officers' part that were not done. I feel like, and this is now I'm putting my feelings, but suggestive. In my opinion, he was playing a game of Call of Duty. He went into combat mode.
Shooting in the fucking face is crazy.
That goes wild.
Like, what happened to disarming, shooting that arm, shooting that leg? If you was to shoot and you shouldn't have shot.
I even say, listen, because one thing that most police officers would tell you that they're trained to shoot mass. They're not even trained to shoot headshots. They're trained to shoot mass bodies. So even shooting her in the chest, I wouldn't agree with it, but goddamn, that would have been a little bit more humane.
Because you said what you was going to do. It was premeditated murder.
I mean, I hate to say
premeditated murder.
I hate to say the phrase of 2024, but he stood on business. He told her what he was going to do and did it. And standing on business was a person, sadly, it'd be Sean Grayson. I hope they stand on business on him on cell block 9. Open him up.
I had and with some hot water too. I had a friend, right? Right. I had a friend and he worked for like the Brinks truck, right? And they say, allegedly, if they were to get into something where someone is trying to rob the truck, you shoot to kill.
Absolutely.
Because they prefer not to deal with anything else after that. That's even crazy. So what are they teaching them in the law enforcement if you got people that run Brinks trucks to just shoot to kill so they don't have to deal with all the mess later?
I don't know protocol, so I don't speak on things I don't know about. So
I don't either, but I do know that most, like when people be like, well, why don't cops, excuse me, why don't police officers shoot them in the leg? They're trained to shoot center mass because it's the biggest part. And it stops the person from coming at you.
Right.
I don't know if they're trained to shoot them in the head.
Did they have tasers? Did they have anything else on them?
They did.
They had tasers.
And that's the
So
that's
why
the
did he
first
pull
thing?
his gun?
They have macer.
But I'm just. No, I'm talking about tasers. They didn't. Did they have tasers?
They did.
Because I don't know if all departments have them. So I don't.
And in the court document filed by the state last week, prosecutors noted Grayson could have drawn a taser located on his duty vest.
So why did you draw the gun and not the taser?
Because her life was worth nothing. Because she was to him less than an animal.
He has shown a willingness to use lethal force despite the availability of non-deadly alternatives when there is little to no threat to his bodily safety, prosecutors wrote. In 2021, April 2021, Grayson was awarded a certificate for successfully completing a training course on how to use a taser. According to documents obtained by CNN from the Auburn Police Department, his previous employer, he was also successfully trained on how to use pepper spray, the document shows. Macy's father, James Wilburn, said during a news conference Monday he initially received conflicting information from the law.
I'm sorry, y'all. This is my son.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
We gotta go.
I had to check on my black son, y'all. He
Right.
good.
Check on your black boys. I was under the impression that a prowler had broken in and killed my baby. Never did they say it was a deputy-involved shooting until my brother read it on the internet. That's crazy. At this news conference, Crump called her killing senseless on every level. Crump referenced what Grayson said, "I'll fucking shoot you in your fucking face," before Macy was shot. Black women don't get the consideration and respect in America, Crump said. So we have Mr. Crump representing the family, I believe at this point. And the shooting has sparked protests and calls for justice in Springfield, with support from organizations like Black Lives Matter. The Macy family has not yet issued a public statement, but is being represented by the well-known Ben Crump. This is a crazy event, a horrific event. What do you feel needs to happen going forward with police and protocol?
Is there protocol? It seems like there's no protocol. No matter how much we say and we try to implement this or that, protocol is different opposed to who they're dealing with. That's the first thing we gotta. And something else I noticed. Now, listen, I'm not here to say a black cop is gonna do a better job than a white cop or anything, but we need some diversity. It needs to be diversified, because when he walked out that door was nothing but white cops. So it makes me wonder what kind of neighborhood it is and why it was nothing but white cops. And I don't know if it's a predominantly black neighborhood or not, but it was just very odd that when he walked through that door, it was nothing but white cops.
I feel like black or white cops is gonna cop.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're gonna do bullshit.
But sometimes you do need diversity, because, all right, the same way you said earlier, he may not understand rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Right.
Somebody that comes from hearing that saying has a better understanding.
I mean,
sometimes you need people of the people to know what's going on and know the vibe and the heartbeat and the temperature of the people.
Just because you're black, that don't mean you know that.
I just said somebody that knows the temperature of the people, though.
But they can't give you a job due to your cultural knowledge. They got to give you a job because you're suitable for the job.
Yeah. They get jobs because of their complexion, their relationships, their everything else. Why I gotta stop on one side? Why I gotta stop on one side? I bet you the deputy's nephew and cousin and son-in-law and everybody works in that same station.
I agree with Javon when it comes to
we
that.
Just need
as far
more
as
diversity.
Relatable, but I also agree with Sha. Cops are gonna cops, because
absolutely.
We've definitely seen instances like down in, was it Mississippi, I believe, where those 6 officers brutally beat that black man, and they were all black. So I think that there needs to be a training. There needs to be a rebranding of police departments and how they just treat people, and especially people of color. We cannot only be the only threats to society and mankind. We just simply can't. And when you go into these situations and you're treated immediately as if you are the threat versus maybe I'm the victim, automatically you're losing off the gate. So we need to be able to have where police officers have the ability to be police, thanks to acts like the George Floyd Act, where police are now able to be prosecuted. Because up until, let's say, 2018, maybe 2019, there really wasn't this outcry for police to be police. But when you have people, and this is why we always turn to politics, when you have presidents who are saying that they are going to give unequivocal police immunity and autonomy to police departments and give them protection to do their job, is this your job? Is it your job to go and literally play Call of Duty and hunt the people that you're going to protect and serve? We have to be very, 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 very careful and very, very, very critical about who we are electing. Our politicians, our lawmakers, our Congress, our senators, all of these people play a part in how the police are policed and how they carry out their job in law enforcement. And I think that we need to be having more than just conversations. There has to, it is also, let it not go unreflected, that Donald Trump has not spoke out on this incident at all. He has not even addressed it. But we do know what he has said about giving police officers these types of immunity and protection. And it makes me wonder if he gets into office, if he's willing to pardon people who are going to make coups and willing to go into the Capitol and cause a riot in the name of the Constitution. Will you go and pardon this man for doing his job? Mm-hmm. We need to be making sure that the people who we elect know that we are not playing when it comes to the protection and to the policing of police officers. That's the real justice.
Right.
And it doesn't need to be peace until it's done.
My idea, I feel like we need a nationwide handbook on police procedures that is accessible to everyone, allowing us to clearly understand the protocols and standards officers are expected to follow. There should be some type of what?
Yeah, no, finish.
There should be some type of website. There should be some type of YouTube tutorials, or where we could just search it and just like, this is standard for everybody.
Okay, we
Agreed.
have that.
Okay.
It's called rights, and they violate them every day, all the time.
Right.
What's the difference?
No, I'm talking about how they supposed to act. How the police supposed to act.
Like basically their handbook that we would have access to.
But we have basic human rights that they violate all the time.
I understand that, but they're gonna violate our rights. But we also need to know what the fuck they supposed to be doing. And
we already know what they're supposed to be doing, and they violate it anyway. They violate you anyway. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
You can hold the book in your hand and show them according to Rule 4, 6, 6, 17,
Section
whatever.
225.
Right.
And they will still snatch you out your car, still beat you, it's still going to be what it's going to be.
So being that we are knowledgeable of how things, like if we are knowledgeable with this handbook or this website or this YouTube or whatever it is, it may help somebody know how to act on their, some people is going to do what they want to do. It might help us some way know how to dismantle the cops' feelings. Just like we know when we found out that when we drive and they pull us over, hands on the wheel. We had to learn that the hard way mad times. But if we would have known that that's how it should go, matter of fact, my boy got a book he wrote.
Well, I mean, technically, you don't have to have your hands that way, but that's the smart thing to do.
That's the point. Because many people who are not Black, they don't do that when they stop. That's called a survival method. We had to learn that so that we don't get killed, because that's the protocol that they assume, that we are armed and dangerous at all times, even when we don't have a armed or we're not armed or we don't have a weapon. But I agree with Sha. Is there something that I don't know. Because like Javon said, even with it, they still gonna do what they gonna do.
That is something, I guess, because I just Googled it. Stay instructed, I guess, in California, stay in your vehicle unless they have something what I'm talking about. Unless directed by the officer to exit. Turn on your interior lights if you are pulled over at night. Assist with visibility. Officers may use a spotlight for additional visibility. Keep your hands on the steering wheel or in a visible location so they are easily observed. Bottom line is the cop was dead wrong. I believe at this point where we are politically, they're going to prosecute him to the fullest extent.
So.
And as they should. And I think that, Sha, maybe that's something that can be done. Right. I think that police officers who go rogue like this and who commit crimes, this is a blatant crime. This is not a part of your job duty. When you commit crimes like this that result in a loss of life, I think that you should be able to receive the death penalty the same way that if a person goes and kills a cop, they either receive life or the death penalty. That is the same outcome that should be had for a police officer.
For the person that killed George Floyd, what did he receive?
20-something years to life, I believe.
And what about the other officers?
Which other ones?
All the other ones I was on the scene. They charged all of them.
They didn't receive.
Some got off.
I think most of them they received like other sentences, but they didn't get the same sentence that he did because he was,
what it was.
They also know a lot of them were sentenced as well. They did not get off. But I think that in instances like that, you should receive either a life sentence, or you should receive the death penalty. Right. The same way that if you, as an average citizen, take the life of because yes, although police officers do honorary, exemplary jobs, they are still what makes your life above mine. Because you put on a blue suit and a badge and you go, like, what makes you more of a father? What makes you more of a husband? What makes you more of a wife? What makes you more of a mother? What makes you more of a daughter? What makes you more of a sibling? You are a human being. And at the end of the day, you took an innocent human being's life because of the perceived threat, but more so because of the color of her skin, because you can't tell me it wasn't.
People say, oh, you don't know what cops deal with and it's rough situational. That is absolutely true. That is a fact. And at any moment, something can happen. But guess what? You signed up for the job. You took the oath. You have the training.
Right.
This is everything you chose.
And I feel like...
So do it accordingly. This is what you chose.
They need to maybe change something. Once you're sworn in, and there should be something that's sworn in, and if you go against policy, rules, or whatever the case may be, or do things that aren't of code, that you should be prosecuted to the fullest extent, because the city that you're supposed to be protecting supposed to hold you to the highest standard. Like, how are you the person that we supposed to call for help, and we need help from you? Crazy.
Agreed.
So, with that said, I want to say rest in peace,
Sonya Massey.
To Sonya Massey
and
again.
Say her name. Keep her. People say, oh well, keep saying it's so many names to be said. But if we keep saying their names, then maybe we can make sure that policies are changed. We can't allow them to just be forgotten because they get a lawsuit and a police officer goes to jail. Right. We need to be able to continue to say their names so that their names don't die in vain. Because it wasn't her fault that she was slaughtered in her own home. Right. So rest in power, Sonya Massey. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family and with all the other families who have had to endure police brutality. And it is our hope that in this lifetime that we will start to see some policies that change to where police officers will not come into households of people of color and instantly see a threat, but see where they can protect and serve just as if they were anyone else.
Right. Can we enforce these policies? Because there's always a policy, there's always a new training, but how are we making sure that it's being enforced? That's what it is. Like, it needs to be enforced, not just that it's there to be there.
Right.
And as we go into this voting election, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'll just tell you who not to. But as we go into this voting election, seriously, these are the things, yes, we talk about economics, and yes, we talk about finances, but these are the things that we have to be talking about because these are our daughters, these are our sons, these are our mothers, our fathers, brothers and sisters. And today, it was Sonya Massey. Tomorrow, who else could it be? Right. So be very, 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 very aware of these when you're having these conversations about who we are electing to helm our country, because not only does the president enforce policies, but these are the people who are stacking the court systems. These court systems are the people who are making sure that law enforcement are getting off of charges or being held to the standard that you and I will. Be very careful in this election.
All right, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, Conversations on Film. YouTube.com/conversation, at Conversations on Film on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube, and comment. Please, please, please subscribe. We are trying to get the numbers up. We're trying to get some fucking money. All right? We're trying to get a
It's all
couple
about the
dollars.
money,
You know what I'm
money.
saying?
Yeah, but beyond that, we need you because you're a part of the conversation.
Mhm.
Duh.
Right. So if you want to enter the chat, right, make sure you comment in our Instagram, comment on our YouTube. You can find these guys at
Just put it at the bottom. Put it at the bottom. Put it at the Thunny_ got it.
The Jada G Show.
at Shatek the producer, at Beats on Film, and we're out of here.
All right.
Bye.
Peace.